Welcome to another episode of Earth Magic Tree Keeper podcast. I'm your host, Camilla Blossom, honoring the earth and tree mysteries. Take a moment with me to remember and feel your connection with the grandmothers, the ancient trees, and Mother Earth's love. Let us attune to the spirit of the trees, fairies and elementals, ancestors and ancient ones. Be inspired by the intimate stories of spiritual earth initiation, tree spirit medicine, magical journeys, special guests, and energetic light weaving of co-creative, intuitive relationships with the seen and unseen realms of nature. For over 35 years, I've been walking a magical fairy shamanism path to awaken and embody the consciousness of Mother Earth. I'm a spiritual mentor and guide, land and water alchemist, medicine woman, soul midwife, and author of Sacred Spirits of Gaia, co-creating a new earth with fairies, elementals, ancestors, and spirits of land. I'm very excited today because all week I've been working on a new mermaid or a new course on water, and the mermaids have been very strong in wanting to come forward. The different water elementals, the spirits of water, the dragons, the devas, and all the beings of the waters. And what I've recognized, it's really helped me move through this time of massive change on Earth, this multidimensional spiritual awakening. And so in this episode, we're going to be exploring the mermaids and the pleasure hour is what they want me to call it. Mermaids and the pleasure hour. And I'll share a little of the story of where that came from, and then we'll go right into it. So some years back, I spent some time with mermaids. I like to call them in when I go swimming or go to waterways. And I had one that approached me at a river on the Hood River when I lived out there, and basically told me that they're real, that they want me to share them more to help people realize that they are real and that they really want to connect with us. They really want to support us. They want to help us learn about the waters, learn how to take care of the waters. I mean, that was sort of the key message of meeting the mermaid was if people believed in mermaids, they would care for the water more. And that message really touched my heart. So I continued to work with them and different beings of the waters, including tuning into whales and dolphins and different animals. The emotional waters, like I'm a healer and work a lot with people in their emotional healing and balance. And so I'm very attuned to that. Sometimes I feel in my own healing process, I call it that because I'm very earthy as well as watery, sometimes I feel like a mermaid and my tail gets stuck in the mud. And I need to flow more, get the water flowing more in order to get out of the stuck places, get out of the places of tension or pressure, and keep those emotions flowing. And I think probably a lot of people can relate because we've been taught not to express our emotions, not to feel them, not to cry. When we see someone cry, it becomes, oh, don't cry, or, oh, that doesn't seem okay. And so the mermaids have a lot of teachings about accepting and honoring our emotional nature, our feelings. Like that's how we connect with them, and it's how we connect with nature. So back to the pleasure hour. I was swimming in Mosier, Oregon, near where I lived, and it was a really hot day, and it was really lovely to go in to the creek there where the waterfalls are and go swimming in that river. And then I got home and I realized there was a whole bunch of mermaids, a whole, I'll say flock, but I'm trying to think of what the name of a group of them, a school of mermaids maybe, that came home with me. I'm like, oh, wow, like I could feel this sort of swooshy feeling energy, like movement around me, fluid, watery, dreamy, as you can imagine, water beings would be. And so these beings, I said, oh, I can sense you're here. Why are you here with me? And they said, we really want you to connect with us more. And we also want you to do things that bring you pleasure, like every day. We want you to take an hour every day and do something that you really love, that brings you pleasure. It can be anything. And call it the pleasure hour. And at the end of the day, write about it. And so I realized one of my joys is writing. And so them asking me to write about it felt like bringing through joy for my experiences. And like that was another way to experience joy. And then the other thing they said, like the pleasure hour can last as long as you want. Like if you want it to last all day, go for it. And so I have to say, I'm still working on that one. I think a lot of us are. To carve out, I do find I really live my life, including doing my work, sharing my videos, sharing my voice, writing, my teaching and mentorship and soul healing work. Like I've made a decision along the way that I will not do anything in my life unless I feel joy, unless I love it, unless it is my passion and brings me that bliss. And so I think part of why they came in, and this was almost 10 years ago, was to really start reminding me to move further and further into that state of being in the pleasure hour like all of your life. And of course, I'm not in it all the time. I mean, this year has been really intense. Like I'm very moody and emotional. And so I feel depression, I feel sadness and grief and bliss and joy. Like I go through all the different emotional currents all the time. And some days are really hard. As my friend says, like today I went in the corner and cried all day. Like, there's times when we're going through meltdowns and experiences where we need to shed, we need to acknowledge the different ways we feel and the uncomfortable ways we feel. But what I feel the gift that the mermaids bring forward is to remind us that we can experience their bliss, their joy, their silliness, their play, and their seriousness and their desire to care for the earth and the waters here. Those can be all part of our life. And really the point of being here is to have all these different experiences as a human in a human body. And so here we are, the pleasure hour. I'm gonna open and ask the mermaids to speak to us, but also I want this to be an actual kind of like the pleasure hour here together, to experience some positive vibes from them, to really allow yourself to receive more bliss, more happiness, more lightness, more flow, more emotional balance, like they want to gift us in this time, with these qualities, with these energies, with this happiness and joy. And really as an antidote as well to some of what's going on in the world, especially externally. Like it's really important, they say. I'm going to start bringing these messages in right now. that we focus on our own internal experience, our waters within, which are our feelings, our emotions, and not to be run or overtaken by them, but to use them as our guidance system, to use them as our intuition, to use them to know like what paths we want to flow down and which ones not so much. So they really are guides for those inner signals, those inner experiences of what our yeses and nos for us, what our choices are. And I know at this time on the planet, those choices we make with what we think about, what we do, what energy we hold, who we are with, like all those choices and the bigger ones are all really important votes for where we want to go, what we want to be continuing to experience in our lives. And so they're really asking us to join them in this place of bliss. So let's just take a moment right now to also let ourselves deepen into our body and receive more of their medicine, of their energy, their qualities, their flow. And one way to connect with them is just through the water breath. So breathing in through the nose with the mouth closed, and then opening your mouth to breathe out. And this is a water breath I learned from the twin trees, and it's a heart harmonizing breath. It also connects us really quickly with the elementals and the element of water. I have this beautiful, if you're on the YouTube video versus the audio, I have some artwork that I created from a photograph of the Columbia River Gorge and the Columbia River. So imagining this massive water that you're connecting with, you might be near the ocean or some rivers, lakes, the rain, the glacier snow waters. So you can tune into those waters that you love and also invite your own mermaid, merman, water elemental beings to be present with you. And as I share some of this guidance, some of this energy, there might be things they want to share with you as well for you. So just be open to receiving. Receiving is a huge opening to the flow, and knowing when the reason we have depression and sickness, illness, moods, difficulty at times can be because we're not flowing. We're not allowing the flow of water, of energy through our body. We might be afraid, resisting, holding on to the past, stuck with some energy imprints, emotional imprints on our body. And so the mermaids are coming in and actually working on us, transmitting more alignment and energy to help move and flow with change going on the planet, change in your own life, emotions that are surfacing that are really difficult, memories that are coming up that you don't want to look at. So just allow yourself to receive from these waters, from the elementals. And I'm feeling the grandmothers come into now that are showing us and bringing forward the primal waters. And these are the original, like waters of the earth, waters of Gaia. So you can imagine tapping in and connecting with the flow of the origins of water, the early waters that were so pure, filled with beauty and light, sacred geometry, crystalline energy. And these primal waters really carry a lot of the medicine, partly for the healing of the feminine, which is very watery. That can be in any gender person or any expression of that. And so the grandmothers and the goddesses and the water priestesses, seeing a lot of them, seaweed woman, a lot of different water beings that we've worked with or maybe been even in fear of working with, are wanting to come in and be with us as well. And some of them want to alert you to their presence to help you remember that you may have had a very strong ancestral or soul connection with the primal waters, that your body remembers. So letting yourself access this energy of the primal waters through your body and emotional vehicle. And what it's doing is like awakening some memories in our DNA of times where we were water keepers, water priestesses and priests, water well guardians. The way we really worked with the waters as the precious lifeblood of the earth. So even if you worked with plants and trees or fairy realms or the crystals, like they're all related to the waters. So those primal waters are coming through to give us access to that original blueprint of water in its divinity, in its highest expression of light, of love, original codes and language. Can even hear that kind of language of the of the watery ones, of the times of Lemuria, the times of Avalon, the times of Atlantis. And so I can see them working on our DNA to activate those memories and places and help move some of that through so we can have more access to our relationship with the spirits of water that for many has gone dormant and lost its sparkle, its effervescence, become more serious. We become dragged down into this matrix and the programming. So now we have this opportunity to re-access, to remember, to reconnect our hearts and our womb and hara spaces to the primal waters of Gaia, of Mother Earth, and of the stars, the planets. So letting that experience kind of open some of the flow that may need more opening. And I can see on the tail of that more of the joy and bliss and pleasure of the mermaids. I have like different mermaids I work with. Britta is one that first came to me at the Hood River and really wanted to work with the healing of the waters, which I have done for a long time in ceremony and water blessings and prayers and healing. And then the other mermaid I met was Scylla, and she's super fun and playful and wants to just play and enjoy and be in that delight. And so I think they're teaching me that balance too, because there's a part of me that is serious about my planetary work, about my healing. And same, I'm sure, for a lot of you that do this kind of work. And for others, Or for the other part of us, there's the part that really needs the play, that needs to integrate the bliss, the joy, the play. Like they want me to kind of emphasize this, like we've been taught in our culture that those are very different experiences. The seriousness of hard work and doing it right and saving the earth and the water and the keeping the pollution from happening, right? And then there's this other piece that's like joy and pleasure and fun. And we've been taught that they're really not something to bring together. But the mer is saying in this new energy, in the new earth, in this new golden age, the 5D and higher, we're being asked to blend, to take those things that are our roles and our purpose and our missions and our way that we want to co-create and help the planet with this part of us that is playful or needs to remember to use our imagination, to use our intuition, use our joy, our play, our fun, our bliss, to bring this together and do this as one. And this is, that invitation to become a fully awakened human, a galactic human, one that's fully embodied in our physical body, as well as one with our spiritual body and our magical, energetic fullness. So it's really talking about wholeness. So the mer are just asking for us to sit for a moment in that. Is there a way for you, for me, to blend and claim and be in all of this at the same time? At the same time, we're in this chaotic external world. So really looking at your inner terrain, your inner water experience, how you can bring this magic of the pleasure hour in with all that you create. And I'm seeing, you might even see some visions or some dreamtime energies. I'm seeing a lot of this beautiful white water that's a lot of turquoise in it, and flowy and cleansing and clearing, and salty, so it can cleanse and clear some of these old beliefs about there's this and that. There's the serious and the playful, that we can't, why can't we create a life that is joyful and fun and blissful and elevated in our purpose and be taken care of? The mermaids say that you can, that now is the time for us to flow with the change on the planet, to claim these, even if we don't, we're facing the unknowable, the mystery. Water is all about that, right? It's about the sacred void, the sacred cosmic void, the womb of creation, like the unknown. And so this is a big piece of our learning at this time as well. And the mer are just asking us to be more trusting of our higher selves and of them and of the earth, because we are being carried. If you allow yourself to surrender and let go, we're being carried by the current of water in a blissful sea. You might be in the sweet water of a stream or the salt water of the ocean. So just see what kind of inner experience of water you and your body feels at this moment. Do you feel yourself bobbing around in a fast moving current in a river or swimming underwater in the ocean? Or resting by a lake in the serene peace of silence? Or is there huge waves, tsunamis? And these are indications of like what is your inner water terrain. And don't judge or categorize what you're seeing. Just be with the water as you're experiencing it, experiencing whatever is within you, in your watery self, in your watery dream time, your imagination. And this is a clue and a discovery for you, just to see what state you're in. And just being present with that. The mermaids are around you, the water spirits and the whales, the salmon, the different beings, the dolphins, and just asking you to, swim and let go and surrender into, even if it's a tsunami or rough waves or a gentle lake, just allow yourself to merge with it, to be with it. And the mermaids are telling me this is our medicine. This is water medicine, energy medicine. It is the frequencies that they're singing to us, for us, from the waters to help our bodies align and flow, heal, come into greater alignment. So just open your ears for a moment. Besides feeling, the mermaids, the water spirits love to connect through sound and frequency and vibration. So sometimes I'll hear the different tones. So just be open. It might even be just the sounds of a creek, of the ocean waves. And let those sounds kind of wash over you, fill you, soothe you. And this is more of the water energy medicine for you. So there may be a specific kind of sound coming in that is for you. I'm definitely feeling, for me, a lot of the ocean is kind of a call that I need to go back out to the ocean and hear those ocean waves and see that water and that white water. Been feeling that pull. And as you tune in, align, accept this water of your inner experience. You're invited to feel that, the pleasure of it, even if it's uncomfortable and you're feeling grief and sadness. Just being present in your body, feeling this experience is enough. And that's what transforms it, transmutes it, creates the cleansing. And I have to say, for this week particularly, but I think this is going to continue, that these water elementals, water element, like this energy really wants to support us, to help us through these times, to help us flow. And the more we can be in that flow, the easier these changes will be. The easier these, like the less shock we'll feel, the more resilience we'll have, the more strength of our being, because we'll be flexible and flowing. And water as an element is constantly changing. It's moving and changing and flowing, even in a very still lake or a bog that's very still and quiet and silent. Water is always changing and moving and flowing. And so when you think about our bodies being 70% or more water, we are always flowing and changing and moving within our bodies. And so this is a good reminder that the mer is saying to remember we are constantly changing inside, even if we feel stuck, even if we feel there's a block, even if we feel that something's not flowing, things are flowing always. And they're now asking to work more with the pleasure hour, to tap into a memory of water, of whether it's you currently or as a child, any point in your life, but something that just was related to water, and just you felt so much happiness and joy at that time, and bliss and pleasure, and just sort of tune in, see if you can kind of merge with the feeling, the experience of that. Of that overwhelming delight, laughter, or profound, deepening, or blissful awareness. And we're going to invite that memory to really take hold in our hearts and in our bodies, to flow through, kind of bringing that joyful memory through. And also to cleanse, as it comes in this joyful, blissful way, allowing that to be kind of cleansing what's in the way of feeling more of that. And so anchoring that in your heart and letting those waves of that joy, of that high octave light, the sound frequency, the singing, to kind of take up space in your heart and in your being, and kind of take over what no longer serves you. And seeing a lot of enthusiasm from the mer, like kicking up their tails with delight and energy and joy, seeing the dolphins jumping, spinning. I guess some of the memories I've had are coming in. So, yeah, considering those memories you've had with water. And for some of you, there may be some fear of water. Some of the most powerful water guardians and keepers have some harder memories with water. So we'll hold that space for healing the soul memories, of loss, of grief, of, whatever's happened in the waters, or to loved ones with the waters. And it's interesting because I can see like the mermaids taking some essences, and this might be something for you as well, like taking flower tree essences. This is a maple tree, big leaf maple. Maybe I'll take some. And I'm seeing them put drops in the water. So I'm going to put this in the water where you are, where I am, whatever frequency of an essence it is that you need. So we'll invite those frequencies. That could be flowers and plants, trees that can be crystalline, specific crystals. It can be mountain spirits. It can be the love of a parent or a child. And so, and other forces of nature. And so we're receiving that energy medicine, vibrational medicine from the mer as well. Beautiful. Can feel like we're receiving a lot of energy work, medicine to help us feel more bliss and happiness. So maybe back to the breath again. You can breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth, open. And if there's anything coming up strongly, just let it move through your heart and harmonize. Bring coherent energy to your heart. Clear any distortions. We're really asking for our divine blueprint to be coherent, aligned in this moment in order for us to express that diamond heart, sacred geometry. So you may be experiencing a lot more flow, a lot more openings, more emotions moving through. Some of them might be a little uncomfortable. Some might feel really blissful. But now might be a good time to consider, like, for your pleasure hour, like maybe after this, if there's something that the mer and the water elementals want to remind you of, that is something you love, that you love expressing, that you love feeling, that you love doing. Just open for a moment and ask, is there something that would bring more pleasure to your life? Bring more joy. Might be really simple, but it might be like a hobby or creativity or using your intuition. You know, the water is all about us opening and honoring our intuition, our knowing. So allowing this moment of that to be supported by the mer and the waters. Getting some mermaid language too. So I think they have some more messages. But yeah, if you need to take a little more time, you can pause this and tune into the things that bring you pleasure. And I'd like to bring through any more messages or guidance from the mer, from the waters and the water elementals. And I am getting the message for us to really connect with the waters through time, like how we were connecting with the primal waters of the ancient time. And then we've had a timeline for our ancestry and our soul lifetimes. And then we are here now. And then there's moving into the future. And really, this place of vibration where we are now is more about timelessness and opening beyond time space. And so, yeah, it's sort of like clearing the old timelines that have created the before, now, the past, present, and future. And so the water wants to just do this with us now to really help us open and flow in an infinity symbol between the primal waters, the waters of now, and the waters of the future. Ooh, this feels really powerful. You can see the Mer King and Queen, Neptune, some of the higher beings coming in to bring this through. So we're connecting all of the ancestral waters, the waters of remembering. That word is so important right now, is remembering. And I know that's what I'm here to do, is help, is to remember and to help others. Help each other remember, right? When we forget, we need to remember again. Ooh, nice. So I'm feeling that shift and that opening, past, present, future. And aligning all your timelines. Any that need to dissolve at this time, and any new that wish to come in and bring through. And I'm also seeing can be an initiation for those of you who are water guardians, water priestesses, carriers of the wisdom of the water. That they wish for me to continue this as an initiation, spiritually, energetically, magically, for those of you who have that role, who are working with the waters, who may be hesitant and resistant and fearful of working with the waters because of past trauma, but it's in you. And so we are being blessed with this energetic initiation. So all you need to do is receive it. Just relax. You're welcome to lay down and get comfortable if that helps. But I can just feel the energy coming in and allowing this beautiful, like mesmerizing energy in a positive way of this beauty, wisdom, and truth. And I am seeing the fire elemental, like the flames of those in our heart, beauty, truth, and wisdom, the triple flame. And hearing that frequency shift, that the water does not work on its own. We work with all the elements, and the fire and the water needs to be together. So all this mother plasma, all this solar codes, all the solar light, all the sun light and light code medicine coming from the consciousness of the sun and the galaxies, they are in relationship with the water to bring that marriage through us and our embodiment our marriage of the water and fire within. Some call it masculine and feminine, however you see it, yin yang. Can look purely elementally water and fire. I have noticed in the past, there's a lot of fiery people who are pulled to work with the water, because sometimes watery people are very quiet and introverted and dreamy and feeling. And sometimes we need the power of the fire ones to hold with us. So this again is a merging, a connecting between the fire and the water, kind of like the more serious and the playful, right? So we're really being asked for some inner unity between these kind of more polarized places, possibly, but bringing them together. Nice. Wow, I can really sense and see a lot of you and myself, like as you receive, like the water's becoming golden consciousness in our bodies, like glowing with colors and golds and magic and rainbows. And for those of you being initiated, this is an opportunity to step deeper on your path, however that looks, to work with water. I am in the process of creating a new course, which if you watch my this channel or my newsletter, you'll learn more about that coming up soon. And now what I'm experiencing is this beautiful reunion with your loved ones that are on the other side. I just heard a pop in the background, and that is my late boyfriend, Paul. He comes in and pops the can of a canning jar, and that's how I know he's here. So I'm feeling that we are also going through a transition into being more open to that communication, that mediumship with our loved ones on the other side. And I know that water does carry that immense grief. And when we're going through grief, which I think a lot of us are feeling, not just about the loss of loved ones, but the loss of our identity, the loss of our old lives, the loss of the 3D, everything is dying. And so, of course, there's going to be a lot of grief, and we need to experience that. And so the water wants to really acknowledge the need for grief, the need for ceremony around that acknowledgement, and that this connection that we can cultivate and open is there for you to work with the spirit realms, to work with your ancestors, your grandmothers, the ones in your family, in your lineage that have worked with the water in the past. You all have that. You all have family. It may be back a ways, but you all have ones that worked with water. And it may be in different ways, like as a midwife or herbalist, as a medicine maker, working with plants, working with crystals. They're all related to the waters. So there's an opening to being able to connect and communicate with the other side. So that's part of this initiation. Nice. So I wasn't quite expecting this, but I was open to what wants to come through. And The earth needs your gifts. The earth and the waters of Gaia need you to remember to be you, to hold the magic of the water. And I'm seeing that when we do this, there is a great gifting of abundance, the flow of all that is precious, all that is beautiful and true for you and for this planet. And that's what will bring more bliss, more sense of fulfillment. And when I, notice my own experiences with joy and grief, like they come very close together. If I'm in a grieving process, it can feel like a tsunami, it can take me down, be very intense. But then on the other edge of that, if I allow that wave, if I allow that to move through, joy, bliss blossoms. And so I think this is part of the teaching of the mer, is for us to take these different polarities, the seriousness and the play, and the fire and the water, the above and below, and all these aspects, and bring them into wholeness and marriage within. Yay, they're clapping. They're like clapping their fins or whatever. They're like, yes, 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 humans, yes, 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 yes. So I think all the things that we explore today really are the messages from the elementals. I'm kind of a voice for these elements and elementals of the water and the different elements. And so maybe coming through my voice, but it's a universal message. And not just the message, but the energy behind this. So I'm really blessed that you joined me and received this beautiful initiation, this welcoming into the Waterkeeper tribe. You probably already are, but if this encourages or inspires you further to work with the waters, please, please do, and open to their magic. Just checking in if there's anything else. We're being showered with this beautiful, sweet, cleansing rain or shower from like a waterfall. Although some of you are immersed in the water. So whatever kind of final water experience you need, you can have that and hang out in it and be with them. Yeah. And even if it's a challenge for you to believe in the water elementals, like the mermaids, mermen, spirits, that's okay. You can work with the water purely as a spirit of love and light. And have your own experiences. For me, I need direct experiences to believe. And so open your imagination, open your intuition, and do things like this, or join me and open and trust that everything you experience is real, even if it's in the journey or the realms of imagination, because that is the realms of the water. Okay. When I'm in completion, I always feel the spirits all around me kind of cheering and clapping and excited. So I'm feeling that now. So we're definitely coming back. I encourage you to come back and really get fully in your body so you can feel your feet on the ground, wiggle your toes, make sure you're all the way in. Water is very dreamy and intuitive, and you can be floating around in lots of places, which is beautiful, but then you need to integrate it and ground it and embody it. And so that's the piece that will really bring the most benefit. So they're saying, thank you, thank you. I hope this was a lovely pleasure hour and time to experience some beautiful emotions, as well as whatever watery conditions you've been in, and that you continue your beautiful honoring and acknowledging and love of water. So thank you.